Um, Good evening, everyone. I'm Victoria Nibeli, and it's nice to have another office hour with you all today. So, as usual, we are in the CSS week, right? And as usual, I'm going to be answering questions from the form and do a little bit of practical, right? So, I got some questions about aligning elements, right? So, I'm just going to explain all these things doing using very little practicals, right? To explain these things. So, but let me just look through my questions and see if there are any like questions that I can just answer. So for the person asking about changing from switching from Python to front end because you have new commitments. It's not possible for you to change course by this time. So you just have to like find a way to manage things. You can't change your course by this time, right? And but the person that is saying that Replit is not loading, sometimes Replit can do something like Replit is waking up, right? It can do something like that, or it may not open like for a long time, not like for a very long time, but it may not open for some time. So we're doing something like Replit is waking up. That's actually normal. So you just need to, refresh or give it some time, maybe like 5 minutes and come back to it. So if your Replit is not working, give it some time and then try again. So please, for those that are using Tailwind CSS, please, you're not supposed to use Tailwind CSS. We're teaching Vanilla CSS for now, and it is expected that you do your assignment with Vanilla CSS. So please do not use framework first. Use the Vanilla CSS that we're teaching. Thank you. So link all pages to invitation. So your Replit is not working. I'm so sure the person that asked this question did not attend my live class the other time, but that's fine. Your Replit will not work if you don't have an index.html. And your index.html, you must, right? Your index.html, you must, for you to see other pages, you must link them to your index.html, right? That's the way Replit works. So the way Replit works, you must link all pages to your index.html and then run the index.html for it to work, right? So I'm using a new browser here. Just going to log in. So like I said, this is index.html. You have to make sure that these other files that are here, like vig.html and style.html, script.html, you have to make sure, register.html, you have to make sure that it is connected inside the index.html for it to work. But please note that there must be an index.html file, right? So I've explained this like so many times, and I think we're good to go. Somebody asked how to put text in a box and give it background color. So I'll go to my VS Code right now. So the last time, we created a very simple form, right? That was what we did the last time. And I still have that in my VS Code, right? So I'm just going to explain with the form, right? So how can you add background color? So normally, if you watch the resources we released last week on HTML, right? The resources explained how HTML elements are like boxes, right? They explain how HTML elements are like boxes. So you can just apply a background color to anything that you want to, anything you want a background color on. So I have this form right here, right? I have the form right here. And as you can see, we already designed this form from last time. So if I want to change the background color of this form, right? I can just come here and give the container a background color. If I use red now, you can see that my container now has a background color, right? This place, I gave my form a class of container. If you don't want to use classes, right? Let's say you have a paragraph. Let's go to index.html. Let's say you have a paragraph here outside this container. Let's just say you have a p tag now outside. Hello. Hello. So I can just come to my index.css even without giving it, like without wrapping it. I can just give it style and just call it P and say, okay, background color. And you can see that my P tag has a background color, right? So the background color, everything in HTML is like a box. So you can just add background color to it directly, right? You can just add a background color to your elements directly, or you can put your element in a wrapper and then give the wrapper a background color, just the way I did with my form, right? Just the way I did my form. This is my form. I wrapped everything in a container from last time. You can see here that the form is in a div wrapper with class container. So I wrapped it up with a div and gave it a class container, and I'm able to style the container here, right? I'm able to style the container here. So yeah. Then somebody asked, how do I make my elements stay in the middle of my page, right? So if you want to make your elements stay at the middle of your page, you just have to, like this now, this is a container, right? This is the container right here. I can just give my container a margin, right? Can give it a margin auto. If I give that margin auto, it automatically just adjusts itself. 0 auto anyone, automatically adjusts itself, right? So margin auto actually gives it, places it in the middle. Where's my index of HTML? So my CSS file, let me change this to 50% so to see clearly. 50%. So that's like one way you can just adjust your elements. Like that's one way you can adjust your elements, your HTML elements. So the next question. So for your assignments, if you don't have a picture of yourself, you're supposed to have a picture of yourself and put a picture of yourself there. But if due to serious reasons, you don't have any picture of yourself, put something that represents you, right? But at least it must contain an image. You must have an image in your work. You must have an image in your work, right? You must have an image in your work. Then please, the link you're supposed to submit for your assignments. Let me open Replit up. This is the link you're submitting. You're submitting this link here. This is what you're supposed to submit for your assignment. This link here in the tab. So that because you're doing front end, and as you're doing front end, we're supposed to be able to see your code, right? You're not doing design. So if you open this up and you submit only the output, it is not nice as a front-end developer. We're supposed to see what you did to bring up this result. We're supposed to see what you did. And then when we see your code, right? When we see your code, because we said use HTML semantics. Use HTML semantics. The way HTML semantics work is that you're supposed to use the right tag for the right purpose. You understand? You're supposed to use the right tag for the right purpose. There are other tweaks that you can still do without using the right tag, right? So we need to see your code to make sure that you're using the right tag for the right purpose. So if you're sending your link is supposed to contain your code. It is supposed to contain your code. Normally, you're supposed to send your code as a front-end developer. So you are copying this link like that and sending, not this one here, just the link of the Replit directly. That is what you are going to send. That is what you are going to send. So I'm just going to check other questions. So somebody is asking, what does inline linking mean and what does open it up on a new page? So what the assignment is just asking to do, the way you create okay, let's create let's create a navigation bar. Let's create a navigation bar. Right. So this form that we have right here, I'm going to take it off so we can, we can build a navigation bar from scratch. So please note that all tasks will be graded. We are grading, we're working on it, we are grading every single time. So please know that all tasks will be graded. If your Replit is not showing your progress after you close Replit and come back, it means that you're not saving your work. Make sure that you created a Replit and your work is saved. Give it a name, save your work. If you save your work, you should be able to see, you should be able to resume at any time. You should be able to resume at any time because as you can see right here on the screen, I'm just coming and I just opened this and this is like the work this is what we did the last time, right? And I'm opening it up and I can see the work we did the last time. So it means that Replit saves your work. So make sure that your work is saved. I didn't even do Control S. So if your work is not saved, maybe if you can't see your work, maybe you're not logged in or something, but your work is supposed to show. Like anytime you come back, you're supposed to see what you did the last time. Yeah. So when we said that your navigation bar, that is the link to other pages should open in a new tab. The link to other pages should open in a new tab. We just simply mean that you should use the target attribute. When you have links, if you look at this link now, you have this link here. If you click on it, the default is self, right? So as you can see, I clicked on it and it took me to, it's opened on that page, right? It's open on that page. Let me open this up big. So as you can see, when I clicked on this now, it took me to on that page. It's opened in the same page, right? It's opened in the same page, and I have to go back. I have to go back to see the previous page. So when we said make sure that it opens on a new tab, it just simply means that when I click on this year, right, when I click on this, it should not load on the same page. It should open a new page to load, right? And you can do that using the target attributes, right? You can do that using the target attributes. So I'm just going to do that right now. So you can do that using the target attributes. So for this link here, I said click here to see my resume. For this one now, just click here to see my resume. I'm just going to come to this A here and add an attribute, target, right? Target, and I'm going to equate it to underscore blank. Target underscore blank, right? So if I click this now, you can see that it opens up on a new page. So you see, I was here before, I was on this tab, and I clicked this, and it opened an extra tab to display the page. So that's just what it means. So if we say open, make sure that all your links in your navigation bar opens in a new page. It means that make sure that all your links are using the underscore blank, right? The target equals to underscore blank. So I'm just going to, for the inline linking, right? It just simply means you should, for your, that is link your pages together, just the way I'm here now and I can click on this and it takes me to somewhere else. That is how it should be. Don't send separate links. Maybe you now send link for about Victoria, you now send on that link for register page, you're not like sending like 5 links. It is not done that way. Make sure that you link your work to the home page, just the way you have a home page in a normal website and you can click on the home page and navigate to different places. That is them linking everything together, right? That is them linking everything together. So let's just do, I think I've answered the important questions, the questions that we asked. So let's just do a very simple, let's create a very simple navigation bar. So one thing also, somebody asked about moving an element, that is moving your elements from, like maybe this, my element here. Now let me take this out. Let me take this margin out. So this now, right? So this now, like maybe I want to move it to this, to the ending of the screen. Right? If I want to move it to the ending of the screen, you can simply use float or you can use positioning. But the best thing to use is actually flex and read and flex box. When we get to that point, you're going to understand better, right? But let's just do, so this container now, I can just say, oh, I want to float this container to the right. And I've floated it to the right. As you can see, I've floated it to the right. And I can say, oh, I want to, that's just it, right? That's just it. You can float it to the right using float. And if you want to use position, right, you can float it to the right too using position. So you can just say, let's use position now. You can say position absolute, right? I've given it a position of absolute, and now I can now float it to where I want to float it to by doing something like margin. I can do margin. I can do, sorry. Can now do right, okay. Right, 0 pixels. And you can see it moves it to the other part of the screen. So that's just it. But when you get to grid and flexbox, right, that'll be the best way to do all these kind of things, like to create layouts and all that. So let's just create this simple, a very simple navigation bar. So let me just take this out. So I have a better, I'm just going to take out the registration page, the form I mean. So I'm taking out the form. So I have an empty HTML document right now. And since I've taken out that form, I should take out these two because I don't need the stars anymore. So I'm taking that out. So yeah. So this asterisk there just simply means, oh, the whole page should have a border. The whole element, every element in the page should have a box sizing of border box. That's just simply what it means. So let's go to index.html. So navigation bar is simply nothing but a list of links, right? That is what a navigation bar is, a list of links that you just design, right? What makes it a navigation bar is the fact that it contains a list of links and they can click on these links, right? People can click on these links to go to other pages. That's just what makes it a navigation bar. So I'm just going to create a nav bar. Create a nav bar, HTML semantics. So you put everything about the nav bar inside the nav tag, right? And then we can just create a simple UL. So like I said, this is a list of links. So it has to be inside the list tag, right? So I'm just going to create 4 lists, right? So enter that. So inside this list now, I'm going to have, let's say my navigation bar should have register, about me, home, or stuff like that. So I can say, okay, the first one is home. I'm going to put this inside an anchor tag because I want it to be clickable. So I'm just going to put home, right? I'm putting into an anchor tag because I want it to be clickable. And my href attribute, I don't have my own page, but if you have your own page in this place, yeah, if you have your own page, yeah, you link it. The href will be the home page, the page you are linking to, right? So I'm just going to put equals to that there, right? And if I want my work to open up in a new page, right? I'm going to have targets equals to underscore blank if I want it to open up in a new page. So and just copy this for all, right? If that changes to log in, register. So since I have the success page, I'm just going to change this hash here to success page.html since I have that page, and I'm going to change this to, let me just give that so home login, register, contact us. So very simple. I'm going to format this using Prettier. So my work looks better. So as you can see, because I'm using the nav tag, it's already like displaying as if it's already like giving me this navigation bar look, right? Give me this navigation bar look. So I'm just going to style this right now. So I want to, let me give my Let me remove versus body margin 0. So I'm just going to style this, right? Okay, so this is supposed to be li. Mistake. This is supposed to be SLI, right? This is supposed to be LI. That's why we didn't have the normal buttons that comes with the list, right? So sorry, my bad. So we have the list of, we have home, login, register, contact us, and everything has to be in the navigation bar, right? That is HTML semantics. So it already looks like a nav bar, right? It already looks like a nav bar, but just like this time it's looking vertical, right? And mind you, there are also vertical navigation bars, right? So if you go to some websites, you see that the navigation bar is actually vertical. So you can have vertical and horizontal navigation bar. So I'm just going to design this now too. So first of all, navigation bars do not have these buttons, right? They don't have those buttons. So you have to, remove the styles so it looks more like a navigation bar, right? So I'm just going to edit that by using the UL. So I'm going to call UL right now. So UL is what is containing, like, is the unordered list, right? It contains all this. So I'm just going to edit the styles from there to remove the default style. The default style is actually this, which is this dot you can see here. But I don't want that. So I'm just going to say, oh, I don't want any default style. So I'm just going to change that to none. I'm just going to change that to none. So yeah. So right now I've removed the default style that come with list, right? And I can, since this is displaying as block elements, right? And I want it to, because what I want to create right now is an horizontal. I want to create an horizontal bar. So I will have to change the default display to inline so that everything displays on one single line, right? And I'm going to do that using the list tag because I'm like, oh, every list should display as an inline element. So I'm going to just do display and give it inline. So right now it looks like an horizontal navigation bar. It looks like an horizontal navigation bar right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I don't want this underline that is right here, this link kind of design. So I want to edit that. So I'm going to use the what do they call it? The descendant selector, right? The descendant selector. So I'm going to use the descendant selector. That is inside list, get all A elements, right? And design it. That's just what this thing means. So inside the list elements, right? Get all the anchor tag and design it. That's just what this thing means. It's a descendant selector. So I'm just going to design the A now. And what I want to do, I want to just basically remove the default that comes with anchor tag, right? So I'm just going to change the text decoration because anchor tags gives it a particular color and the underline. Yes, so I'm going to change so as you can see now, text decoration none. the underline has removed, right? The underline has removed. And I can say, okay, my anchor tag, I want to give it a particular color. I can give my anchor tag a particular color because right now it looks kind of blue. I'm just going to give it a black color, right? And now it's total black, right? It's pure black. So I can come here and give my URL a background color. You know the way navigation looks like, it has this background color or true. So I can give this a background color, or what color should I give it? So let's give it a background color of, I think this color should be, I like this F1 color. Oh, not looking so good. So let's give it a background color of, let's just give it black, right? So I'm giving that black. I'm going to change my text to white, right? So right now I have it looking like a navigation bar, but as you can see, it is jam-packed, right? So I'm just going to edit that by giving it by using padding, right? Right now, I don't want this space on top. I want it to be attached to the beginning. So I'm just going to edit my nav, right, and give it a margin of 0. So, okay. Okay, so I just applied the margin 0 to like everything. I'm going to be using padding, right, to edit my style, to edit the navigation bar. So I'm going to use padding to edit the navigation bar. But right now you can see that me giving it a margin of 0, right? It now looks like it looks more of a navigation bar because it's attached to the very top of the screen, right? That's the very top of the screen. So what else do I need to do? I can now give my anchor tags. No, I'll give my URL first. I'll give it a padding, right? So let me give my URL a padding of, let's say 15 pixels. As you can see, it now looks better. It looks better now with 15 pixels, right? So 15 pixels, and I think I'll make this 10, right? 10 pixels. And I can now come to my anchor tag. I want to make this separate from each other, right? So I'm going to give it a padding, so a padding of, so I'm going to give it a padding of 10 pixels by let's say 30 pixels. Please do not make this kind of mistake. No comma is supposed to be there. So as you can see, it's now like it has separated. It's looking better. It has separated, right? So I can just make this, let me make this 14. So you can see it's looking like a navigation bar right now. It's just this easy, right? When it comes to CSS, you actually get to, you just use your designs, your styles to tweak the HTML elements, however way you want your elements to appear on the screen, right? So it is totally up to you to design whatever you want to design, give it any amount of styles you want to give it. You can make your work simple, you can make your work very, very You can make it simple. Simple is beautiful, or you can make it more like complicated by putting like different design. You can anything you want to do, basically you can do it with CSS, right? You can do it with CSS. CSS actually gives your navigation bar or your design or whatever thing you are designing, it gives it life. So if you notice when you go to navigate, when you go to other websites, right? When you go to websites, when you are navigating, like when you are hovering on the navigation bar, you see that, oh, when you hover on home, maybe it will change. You hover on login to change, or you hover on, it will just change. So we can give it that hover effect by using our studio selector. So we're just going to call we're just going to say, okay, inside LI, all the anchor tags, we want to give it a background color when we over on it. So don't forget to put this over here, right? So you can say background color. What color should I use? I can use, I think, DDD. That's, that looks horrible. Okay, this doesn't look so bad, right? So I think that's a nice color, right? So giving it a background color of 555, and yeah, so over on this, it's actually okay this way. And then we can also change the color of the text when we over on it, right? We can change the color of the text when we over on it by doing just putting a color right there. So we could do, you can do whatever you actually want to do. You can make it red, pink, whatever color you want, right? So this looks more of a navigation bar. So if I click on, when I go to my index of HTML, I connected this contact us, I connected contact us to success of HTML. So if I click on this contact us, it just opens a new tab. It opens a new tab, right? And that's just it. That's just what we mean by underscore blank. And that's what we mean by connecting your HTML files, right? That's what we mean by connecting your HTML files together. So it should be connected. So you should have a navigation bar, right? You should have a navigation bar to connect your pages, right? You should have this navigation bar to connect your pages. And when you click on anyone, this one now takes me to nowhere because I use the hash symbol here for my href, right? I use the hash symbol here for my href. So I want to quickly look at the assignment. So the questions I got from about the assignment, right? About the pages. I think the questions are clear now. The answers are clear. And for the action, please, if you did not if you don't know how to use the form action to make it navigate to success page, watch the class I had on Wednesday. Today is Friday. Please watch the class I had on Wednesday. I explained I created a form, right? And then I explained how to connect it, right? Using how to make it open the success page when a user fills in details. When a user registers, here it says on login, but in my class, I used the register page. So your own should be for login, right? Everything is form, so your login page is still form and everything like that. So once the user logs in, the same principle should apply. So watch the class I had on Wednesday and you're good to go. You're good to go. So I think that is it for today. Thank you so much for attending. Next class, we're going to probably do one of their assignments, right? We're going to do correction on one of the assignments, right? Probably based on, if there are not many questions, I'm going to do a revision. But if you have so many questions about the current resources that have been sent out, then I'll have to focus on the current resources. Thank you so much for attending today's class. See you next time.